shadow of doubt. I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left.
A boost leak? Sounds like it's back here. Fucking blow-off valve has almost cost us a race, and it's potentially costing us dyno runs, fuel, time, misery. Blow-off valves are gay, everybody.
That's the first time I've heard it though, so I think we'll probably be alright, but
That's the first time you've heard a blow-off valve?
heard the leak.
But it's not the first time we've had a leak on the blow-off valve.
That's correct.
And if the blow-off valve didn't exist, then we wouldn't have the leak.
It's true.
I think when you go to TX2K, maybe you take that piece of shit off.
We have the
I know, I made an additional pipe for just this reason. I knew the deal.
Wait, we haven't told anybody we're going to TX2K.
You can leave this part out. That's a you problem, not a me problem. You see, kids, when you have small turbos like this, blow-off valves are dumb. You don't need them.
Hey, it's not small.
Your turbo will not run backwards. You will not get compressor surge to the point where you will break your turbo. You won't experience anything that will cause you any negative effects other than being happy. You see, when you put all the air in the motor, you go faster.
Happiness happens.
Blow-off valves allow air to not go in the motor, and you go slower. You basically don't need them unless you have a supercharger. I don't know what else to say other than don't do blow-off valves, kids. It's right up there with crack. It's just as bad for you. It causes you just as many problems. We lost 3 minutes and 40 seconds. We lost fucking with that. Just saying.
Alright, well, we just got done kind of playing around with the dyno and the E30. I'm going to go through a couple of the figures. This was just kind of on a whim. We decided to throw it on the dyno since we put the new motor in the pocket port. On wastegate, it did a true 10 pounds, made about 490. Didn't really mess with it much from there. Added a little timing, didn't really improve much. Then went to 13 pounds. 13 pounds made 565. 14 pounds made 595. And then we started kind of running into some problems with, I think it was just traction, to be honest with you. 14 pounds made 603, but we start to see this heavy drop off up here. And I didn't really notice it until like later on. We started having some weird tire issues, and that is like on both sides, just goo of tire. Now, I did this on the Mickey Thompsons. Probably in hindsight, shouldn't have done that. They pretty much say, hey, don't dyno on these, and your boy did it anyways. But so some of these figures are low, especially when we get to the higher horsepower around 700. So 14 psi we did right at 600 horsepower. 15 psi 633. 15.5 psi made 645. And then we start getting into the spicy numbers. 20. 717. And every time I got up there, boop. And you're going to see that get worse and worse as time goes by. So I think 20 pounds, it was pretty much leveled off. If I use my cursor over here, 6850 is where it's saying was its max. It probably would have just leveled off. I don't think it would have made any more power. But then you start seeing like 6950. So this is 22 pounds, made about 740-ish. And you start to see at 6950 is where it made its peak. And it looks like it was going to actually probably keep going. So I think this would have been closer to like 750. 25 pounds was 770, and you can see majorly start dropping off. I noticed that the straps were really loose on the back, and so I think I started spinning the tires because I would like add more boost and it would not change at all. Like it would pick up like down here, and then it would just immediately fall off just the same way. So I was like, well, shit. And so these runs, like this 25 pounds at 770 is more like 800, in my opinion. But I don't care. It's whatever. Car's fast. 28 psi. Now this is after we tighten the straps, so you can tell significantly a difference. Remember, on the stock motor on 31 pounds, it made 940. Same turbo setup and everything. Now on 28 pounds, it makes 940 on 28 pounds, and you see that the max jumped to 7100. So we go over here to 7100. 7,000, 7,100. I mean, it's carrying, like, it's making 940 horsepower for pretty much like 1,000 RPMs, and then it just drops off. Now, that could be me hitting the rev limiter a little early. This thing might not have been completely snapped, like, perfect from the get-go. So I think that 940 is probably pretty accurate. But then we get to 30 pounds. 963, pretty drastic drop off there. 30, what was that, 30? Okay, 32 pounds. God, this is hard to see. 32 pounds made 986. Same kind of deal. I have a feeling that I might just be running up on the rev limiter. Like, it might just be the soft limit, but that's a long soft limit. That's like 7,300 to like 7,800. I just don't think. I think something else was going on. I don't know. I feel like it was spinning. And then the final number, 35 pounds. I think I said a long time ago 35 pounds was going to make 1,000 horsepower. Well, it did. It made 1027. So we'll say 1025. But look what happened. That little dealio there. I feel like that would have gone up a little bit more. Probably would have been more like 1040, 1035, something like that. It should have kept with the same power going all the way across. Around this time when this was happening, I think that the straps got loose again and I might have started spinning. Just a hunch. So anyways, or it might have had a little bit of spark blowout. Like, during that run, I was like, oh, it didn't make 1,000, because I felt like it. I thought I heard a little spark blowout, and that might be what that was, which is a little bit of blowout. So yeah. Anyways, I said 35 pounds would make 1,000 horsepower. Well, I was right. It made a little more. So we'll probably leave it there. I could probably go to 40 pounds and make 1,100. I think that's very doable. We'll just call that 1,120. 5 more pounds of boost. It would need less than 20 horsepower per pound of boost to make 1,100, and that turbo is capable of it. It is I want to say a 1,200 brake horsepower turbo, so about 1,100 wheel horsepower. I think people have already made 1,100 on it. So I was going to swap over to my better fuel. I got some C85, but I didn't swap. I was pretty content with the 1025. So I wasn't really too worried about going and changing fuel and all that stuff just to see the 1,100. But I think maybe later on, like later in like next year or something, maybe I'll go back and do that. But for now, we've got some stuff that we've got to work on before I really go back to that and try to just satisfy myself with that number. We've got a couple of goals that we want to hit in 2025. Our first goal is, well, I'm not going to say our first goal. We got a couple goals. We want to go to Texas 2K25. So that's probably going to happen. And then I want to do, so there I think I'd have my best chance of running 3s in the 60 to 130. Now, 3s in the 60 to 130 is like chump compared to the cars that are out there. Those cars make, I think the average power right now is 1,800 horsepower is on average. Some of those cars make 3,500. We make up to 1,100 horsepower full tilt boogie if I wanted to turn it up. We're not going to be competitive. We're just going to go and qualify and just have a good time and That's it. That's what we're gonna try to do. Next goal is I want to run 9s, no problem, and then 8s. So next year, 2K, 3s, 9s, 8s, and I'll be happy. So that's our update for now. Don't know what's next. Oh yeah, I do know what's next. I know what's next. This is gonna look a lot different. So if we're gonna go out and compete with the big boys, we've got to get prepped to compete with the big boys. So the back end of this car is gonna look it's gonna look a little different. It's gonna look a little different. Stay tuned. All right, well, Justin just finished up some little side project for me. Yeah, so this used to have a Euro plate that I've had for like 20 years. I've switched between cars. I had a Euro plate on it.
Because you're old.
Little bracket. Yep, because I'm old. And we've been having some IET issues for airflow, so we were like, you know what? Let's just, when we go actually try to make passes and get good airflow, this used to be completely covered up. I mean, even without that, it was like with the little bracket. It was like all the way down. Say what?
So I wouldn't put your bare fingers on a lot of this. Yeah, a little burr.
Little burr?
Not even a little burr. It's actually a razor blade. So there's that.
Yeah. So that, yeah. Don't touch it.
You don't touch it.
Okay, I won't touch it.
Don't touch it, kids.
So anyways, you know, my battery died on the GoPro, so I had to redo this. But basically, this was covering it up, and it was blocking any airflow from getting to the intercooler. And as you can see, like down here, even like through this, it just gets a little bit, like just on the bottom edge. And then, of course, this thing's all saggy, so it gets through there a little bit, but nothing from up there. And then it does get some airflow through the top. So now we'll just take that off when we go racing. And then this thing will be hidden just for show purposes or whatever when we're just showing the car off. So I'm gonna put that back on here just so I can show y'all what it looks like. Boom. It's like we were never there. So it's just like, can't even tell. Maybe a little bit through there. The only thing is we had to take like a little support out, so this thing will kind of moves on its own now. But I mean, what doesn't move on the front of this car? Like once you go 150 miles an hour, everything just starts to flap around. The thunder's rolling. Oh, the weather's getting crazy right now. So yeah, no, it's back on there, and then if I want to get serious, I can just undo it, and we've got airflow. And I don't know, maybe that's worth 10 degrees. That'd be fucking fantastic. What's going on back here? Wait, where's the bumper at? What the heck's going on? What are we doing? What's this hole for? What's that? Yeah. Little holes here. Oh my god. It's crazy. We putting a trailer hitch on this thing?
It could be used as a trailer hitch. For a light trailer.
Yeah, I'm putting a
single seated.
Ooh. Or a GP 1300R slash 1800R actual. Yeah. Or it's a trailer hitch so I can keep dragging everybody's ass around here. Yeah, I think that's what it's for. Trailer hitch.
I think it's so you can throw the chutes in their face.
Yep. We're getting prepped and ready for some events in 2025. Some of these events require some things. Once you go fast enough, you got to have some things. And I'm not talking about a cage. But to enter in on some of the events, we have to have things like an engine diaper. So we're going to have to put an engine diaper in. And then I've got to have some safety gear like pants, gloves, shoes. Yeah, I got to get all that stuff. Pants, gloves, shoes. Turbo cross bolts are going to have to go in the downpipe. Maybe. I'm still trying to get clarification on that. But yeah, just getting it ready for some events in 2025. So we will continue on with our trailer hitch on the rear. Let's see what that ends up looking like. cover to go across the covers all that up so there's no holes anymore in the trunk. Now you get a kind of a better view of the whole rear end setup now that it's all out. Really makes it a lot easier to see everything with the gas tank out of this thing. See the bar up there. We're pretty proud of that setup. Now, let's make it a trailer hitch mount setup for it. Yeah, just a trailer hitch mount setup, no big deal. Not in flip-flops today. Alright, so got that welded in, got that side welded in. It's gonna be a sweet trailer hitch mount, bro. So about to get it welded, completely welded back up, and then we'll stick it back in there and cut a big old hole in the bumper. Yeah. All right, guys, the trailer hitch mount is completed, at least the hitch part. The frame part is completed. Peekaboo.
The chips are expired, and rightfully so.
It's actually our new wastegate exhaust, so our wastegate actually comes out there now, separate from the straight pipe. It's wastegate. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Sticks out a little bit. We're gonna work on that. We re-secured the bumper. All this stuff. We actually ended up re-securing it pretty easily on this side, and then this side over here, had to drill 2 little holes here so we could screw it up in there, but yeah, this is all getting replaced with Euro bumper stuff later on. And then this side didn't have anything, so I just, yeah, sent those. But whatever, anyways, it's in there, and the mount, the trailer hitch mount is done. So I'm gonna go up with the car and show you all the underneath. All right. Plugging all the grease, it's disgusting. But hitch mount is done. Kind of did the same thing that we did on the subframe and diff mounts. Did pretty much the same thing for this. Sleeved it, went through the frame straight to the other side. Had to notch that side a little bit to clear this fuel cell. No big deal. Ran some gussets on there. And then you can't really tell, but there's a little hole in the bumper on the back side, and ran it out there. Now, I'm debating on leaving this hanging or maybe cutting like a hole through here somewhere to put our pin through. But I'm not sure yet. For now, we're just gonna finish the rest of the outside of it and then we will go from there. So next weekend we should have the rest of the stuff ready to finish it, to complete everything and run it all. Like I said, we ended up resecuring this stuff. I mean, I know it sounds still really floppy, but before it was in with like zip ties, and now it's, especially this one, really in there. So I don't have to worry about that now. It's crazy how perfectly level this fuel cell is with the body of the car. Be kind of cool to like scan the underneath and then like make a stainless like plate that goes across and like covers the exhaust and everything, where it was more like aerodynamic, but doubt we ever do anything like that. Anyways, we will continue on next week and finish up the rest of this, and then we're going to install my hydro too. My hydro line is still up in here, right here. It's actually going through the factory cables and then up into there. So probably gonna throw the hydro back in there, help me slow down a little bit on our next race.
These people are crazy. There's something wrong with them. There's something wrong with them.